Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Blast from the Past. Hell's aspiring angel takes on her demonic doppelganger in this action-packed, time-traveling E-Steam series adventure. Get E-Steam Blast from the Past with a bonus E-Steam comic book, No Good Deed, in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Hi everyone, it's Shawn here with another comic review video. And this comic review video is going to be the start of a series of review videos on the Konkret or Concrete universe. Now, after I watched a Chris Crazyhouse video where he talked about these Konkret comics and I heard about them from one of my regular viewers, I quickly headed over to their Kickstarter and put in a pledge for the digital versions of these Konkret comics. And I wanted to do that because I'm always looking for great black comics featuring great black characters. And I also want to go out here and support all of these brothers and sisters out here who are out here creating all of these great black comics. Now, the Konkret or Konkret universe, these books really remind me of the Milestone comics I used to buy back in college, back in 1993. And the way they're rolling out the Konkret universe really reminds me a lot of the old Milestone universe of 1993. Now, back then, Milestone launched with 4 titles: Hardware, Blood Syndicate, Icon, and Static. And the Konkret universe is launching with 4 titles: Absolver, Odinia, the Acolyte, and Andy Starboy. So they each have 4 titles that they're using as the foundation of their universe. And after reading all 4 of the Concrete or Konkret comics, I can say that the foundation for the Konkret or Concrete universe is rock solid. And each of these books has their strengths and weaknesses, but the strongest book, as I see it, as related to the Konkret or Concrete universe, is the book Absolver. Now, this book Absolver has a supernatural hero, and this supernatural hero has some very mysterious supernatural powers that remind me of DC Comics' The Spectre and some aspects of Todd McFarlane's Spawn. And this Absolver, who is the hero of Caesar City, he is over this city that is supposed to be filled with all of these dark, depraved, and corrupt people, and he's out to absolve those who have been done wrong and mete out justice for them. And the Absolver is not somebody who goes out here and is just looking to deal with the bad guys the way somebody like a Static would. No, this guy, he takes things to a different level. And like the Spectre, he metes out justice that is hard, fast, and absolutely, final. So we start to see how this Absolver metes out his justice in just 3 pages. And in these 3 pages, we see this priest running for his life from whatever creature is out to get him. And this so-called holy man, we start to see that is not so holy because he's got a gun inside of his desk. And that's not something a priest would have, but this is a great job of establishing character in just 1 page, showing us that this priest is not all he's supposed to be. And as we're seeing this priest running for his life, we get a quick look at this Absolver and how dangerous he is and how terrifying he is. And I like this sequence and the way they do it, showing us again how terrifying this creature is, because this priest is just running for his life, and he's just terrified of this dark and mysterious creature. And this Absolver, he just comes in and in less than 3 pages shows us that the way he metes out justice is hard, fast, and final. And the reason why he metes out that final justice is because these people who are out here doing this wrong, they believe that they're holier than everyone, and they believe that they are above the law. So the Absolver is a character who metes out justice on those who believe that they are above justice. And we get a great introduction to this character in this second issue. And I have to say that this second issue does a great job of doing something Jim Shooter in his blog many years ago said that a good comic does, in being an entry point for a new reader, because every issue needs to be an entry point for a new reader. And this second issue, immediately I was able to get into this story, get to know this character, and quickly start to care about this character in just a second issue. And this second issue does one of the things I say a second issue needs to do in being compelling enough to get the reader interested in the character so that they start thinking about going back for the first issue and then start anticipating buying the third issue. So this book does a good job of telling a compelling story, and it also does a great job of selling a great story, because a writer has to go not only tell a great story by showing it in the actions of the character, but they also have to sell the next issue. And this one does a great job of selling the next issue and showing us all why this Absolver is a hero and why we need to care about him. And we see that in the type of justice he metes out. He's not somebody who goes out here looking to go out here and bring these guys back so they can go to jail. He wants these guys taken off the board once and for all. Now, as the book progresses, we start to delve into the Absolver character, and we start to learn a bit more about the mystery regarding the Absolver and why he is in Caesar City. And this is shown in this sequence between him and this mysterious black female who is with him. And this does a great job of, again, delving further into the mystery and also building up another storyline. And that's one of the things I liked about Absolver, is we get all of these storylines built up in this book, and each one is developed in a very well-paced manner. And the pacing here in this comic is very good. We get one storyline set up as into introducing the Absolver, then we get delving into his character and his past, and then we get an introduction into a foe who wants to find some answers to the Absolver, again delving deeper into the mysteries of this character. So there's a lot of great storytelling here, and I like the fact that they don't just resolve everything in one issue, that there's going to be a lot more that we need to know about this character. And after he has this run-in with that mysterious figure who reminds me again of Deadpool and Deathstroke, we start to see that the Absolver isn't just a supernatural force, but he's also very vulnerable. And we see that he's not some immortal character who just goes around wrecking people, that he has some human vulnerabilities and some human frailties. So there's a lot of complexity to this character and his development, and I don't want to give away everything as related to this character, because this book is so good that I don't want to ruin it for all of those who have not read it, because this Absolver is an absolutely fantastic comic, and it's one that I definitely want more people to go out here and buy, because this is just absolutely great comic storytelling. This book has very, very good character development, has very well-paced action, and it really does a great job of being a solid building block in this Konkret universe, and shows us how good these comic craftsmen are as related to their craft. Now, when I look at this book and I compare it to the Milestone Returns Zero, it really shows me how far Milestone has fallen, because when I look at this book shows me that these creators really learned a lot about the Milestone universe, and they learned a lot about storytelling. And this book shows me that these guys took everything that the old Milestone in the 90s did and took it to another level. I mean, this book is absolutely rock solid. And these creators, they've taken the craft of comic storytelling to another level. I mean, this is what I used to get at the comic shop back in the 80s and the early 90s as related to comics. And I have to say, these guys have improved in that type of storytelling, because what these guys do in this Konkret comic is they tell a great compelling story in 20 pages, and they have you actually wanting more as related to this Absolver character. I mean, I really definitely want to go out here when they launch the Kickstarter or the Indiegogo for the Absolver #3 or Konkret Universe Books #3. I want to put in a pledge just to get the next story in the Absolver saga. And I really would recommend everybody go out here and pick this book up, because it's very, very well done. I have to say, out of all of the 4 books of the Konkret universe, this Absolver is the absolute best book of the entire Konkret universe so far. And this book is very, very well done. I mean, this is what good comic book storytelling is. Has really good, clear art, and you're not going to be disappointed by Absolver if you've got this comic. You're not going to be disappointed at all. Everything in this comic just flows together, and you will be very, very happy with this Absolver comic. I mean, if you like supernatural horror type characters like the Spectre and Spawn, you're going to definitely enjoy the Absolver, and you really are going to enjoy this book. So I definitely highly recommend you pick up the Absolver, and as related to Konkret comics. And I'm going to be back tomorrow with the next review of the Konkret universe, and I think I'm going to review Acolyte next. Acolyte will be the next book I review, and I definitely want to see you guys go out here and pick up these Konkret comics, because these books are rock solid, and you definitely aren't going to be disappointed with them. Now, if you want to pick up some of my action-packed African-American fantasy on the SJS Direct imprint, you can pick up my ISIS series books, my E-Steam series books, my John Haynes series books, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBookstore, and Google Play. And if you want to see what my comics look like, you can pick up E-Steam Blast from the Past on Amazon.com. And in that book, you will find the first SJS Direct comic, E-Steam No Good Deed. And if you want to see me make more videos like this and be able to publish more books and publish more comics, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, and my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, Vampires Stalk the Darkness of the Eternal Night. Get your copy of Eternal Night in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.